Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, anywhere you are watching WYTV all around the world. My name is Ahmed Abbas Olatunji, but you can call me Sidon J. That is, if you feel like to call me that name. You're welcome again to another edition of News Review on WYTV. And this is where we talk about the headlines that made up the newspapers of today. And we go on a short commercial break and do justice to some of the headlines, and you can do justice to it. So in the comment section, I'm not the only one in the studio today. I have with me
Ambassador Rochi Morilu, as usual.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. Today, we have a lot to talk about because talking about the strike that is coming up from NLC and all. But before we talk about that, let me quickly read out the headlines that made up the newspapers of today. I'm starting with Vanguard newspaper, and if you're just joining, it's News Review. Strike. Our labor veterans got NLC TUC to close ranks. Bank customers pay 154 billion naira fee for e-banking services. Bad roads in Lagos. Residents, motorists groan. Presidential election. You remain serial loser, Ganduje mocks Kwakwanso. Then on Punch newspaper. Varsity graduate attempts suicide over withheld results. Labour faults federal government's meeting, insists on indefinite strike. Mohbad, I'm ready to return if my safety is guaranteed. Naira Marley. Kidnapped Nasarawa police students regains freedom. Then on the Guardian newspaper, woman kills 65-year-old husband with pestle in Ondo State. Police nab 92 suspects for cultism, kidnapping, armed robbery in Enugu. Ondo lawmakers Sean court order move to impeach deputy governor. Apologize for ridiculing monarchs, Afenifere tells Obasanjo. Then on the Daily Post newspapers of today, bandits, 7 killed, 9 injured in Zangon Karaf attack. Indefinite strike. We've exhausted all tools. TUC insists on shutting down economy. Junta announces coup attempt in Burkina Faso. Eze Indigbo of Ibadan land, Anozie is dead. These are the headlines of the newspapers of today. We are going on a short commercial break. Then when we're back, we talk more about the headlines. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned.
For management of power.
Welcome to King Victor's Enterprise.
King Victor Nigeria Enterprises. He say make I tell una say una wey dey sell provision, noodles, groundnut oil and other food items there.
Èmi ni Ìyálọ́jà Ìkẹ́nnẹ́ Mrs. Olúbùnmi Olúwọlé. King Victor is a nice son and he doesn't cheat.
King Victor Nigeria Enterprises are one of the major distributors Honeywell, Golden Penny, King's Oil, Gino àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ti ń bá wa dòwò pọ̀ látẹ̀yìnwá wọ́n kígbe sàdánkátà fáwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n ń jẹ lọ́dọ̀ wa. Come straight to King Victor Nigeria Enterprises. Gbogbo ẹni tó ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ òwò nǹkan oúnjẹ títà àǹfààní láti ṣí sílẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wa o. Máa gbọ́jà kó o máa sanwó ẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀. As you dey order for your market, piam piam piam, our motor don deliver am for your shop and we no dey put extra money. Tara ṣàṣà báyìí kò bá wa dòwò pọ̀ ní King Victor Nigeria Enterprises. A wà ní shop 2 Awolowo market Makunilu Ṣàgámù. Ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa 081-379-09381. King Victor Nigeria Enterprises. Fast,
Welcome back from that short commercial break, and those are sponsors for this show. Talking about Nokpa Abba's bitter Nokpa
mixture,
Abba mixture, Abba flusher, Abba tonic, Abba powder.
Cool.
Yes, Nokpa Abba cool. And talking about King Victor Nigerian Enterprises, that's where you could get your foodstuffs. Talking about rice, beans, and every other foodstuff that you need, you can contact King Victor Nigerian Enterprises. All right, the first headline we are going to be talking about today is about this varsity graduate attempting to kill himself to commit suicide over withheld results. Now, before I go to the body of this news, I have something to say. Education in Nigeria, does it worth it to die for?
With the present condition of this nation, education in Nigeria is not worth dying for. Because I believe within my heart that the present administrative don't have the mind of education again. They don't have the love of education in Nigeria, because if they have the love of education, it is not what they said to us during their campaign that they are not doing.
So if I may come into this, I would say, when was education a good thing to the Nigerian government? Because I've not seen them having knowing the value
of what education is.
Yes.
Yeah, I could remember vividly when this GSSSS was introduced then. You remember that in the school then, there is a section where we have woodwork. Yes. We have a technical
that's the technical aspect
of it, that different tools and machines were being brought to the school. Then you have a section of the probably one day per week. Yes. We have the section of the theory, which the theory lasts for about 1 hour. Then the practical lasts about 3 to 4 hours, where we are going to be taken to the factory, to some people to the lab. For instance, now I done the woodwork this thing, so we were being taken to the warehouse where those machines were being imported.
Just like vocational studies.
Just like vocational studies, where I learned how to do molding, where I learned how to do stools, where I learned to do different sets of table. Then because we have a teacher that has been assigned for that job. But these days, there is nothing like that. Are we going to tell the government to return back to the old system?
Even if not in the secondary school level, at least I still get to know some technical schools around us in Nigeria. Most of these technical schools are not operating again. Because, I feel people
because they are not putting their attention into it. That's why you see people not interested in all those things.
Well, for this man to feel like committing suicide is the best thing for him, because his result was being withheld in his school. A graduate of Ambrose Ali University.
I mean, I don't know why someone will commit a suicide. I don't know. If you are tired of what you are doing, it's better you find another thing.
But let's get into
another thing
that's done and see the reason why he tend to commit suicide, because his result was being withheld. A graduate of Ambrose Ali University, Ekpoma, Edo State, identified as Precious Ogbeide, has attempted suicide over the alleged university's refusal to issue him and several other students their results after they graduated from school in 2018. So since 2018,
he has not yet collected his.
The news learned that Ogbeide, whose parents claimed he had been battling depression due to his inability to be issued his result after spending 5 years in the school, started to stab himself with a piece of bottle had broken.
That is not the solution to the problem. I believe his parents also, at least, they have the solution. They should write to the management of the school, or they should report to the higher authority. The reason why his result has not been given to him.
I'm seeing this in another angle, because for someone to be healthy, to be okay, you can't
just say because you see. Let me tell you this, Sidonje. If truly this thing happened, with the present situation of Nigeria, now do you know how many people you say if somebody is
have a lot.
If somebody is out of his senses,
Yes.
will somebody go to the Third Mainland Bridge? If he's out of if he's not out of his senses and jump into the lagoon or in case of committing suicide, it is the frustration and the present condition we meet ourselves in the country. Okay. For instance, now a man that has been working with a government that has been working in a company for many years, now the man came out that they lied that he was the one that stole some things in the company. In the case of proving himself, they did not allow this man to prove himself. The man was fired and the man was sacked. What else could the man do if the man was not frustrated? If the man went ahead to the Third Mainland Bridge and said he's going to join him, they were even begging this man, not until the man jumped, because he's an old man.
I concur with what you just said. Yeah, with the current situation of Nigeria could lead to anything, talking about depression. But in this man's case, even people that had the results, that had
they don't find anything to do. Do you know this result? This result is so important to some people that for them to have the result is a thing of a joy on their own. Yeah. It depends on how we look at it. For you to have spent some social amount of days, some social amount of years, some social amount of hours in a school, at the end of the day, you say you graduate, nothing to show off.
I know there will be a reason behind the result, but let's continue with the body of the news. Maybe we'll get to know what's up about the guy. Some agri students of the school had lamented the inability to receive their degree results after spending 5 years undergoing the program, claiming that the situation had demoralized them. According to them, they are facing a bleak future as a result of the development. Punch learned from the agri student that the tertiary institution had been promising them that the backlog of results would be declared and students who were yet to be mobilized for the National Youth Service Corps scheme would be settled. However, a source who was privy to Monday's incident told our correspondent that Ogbeide became frustrated and decided to end his life over the matter.
It's what frustrating.
I think the school had a problem.
Do you know how long? If the school had a problem, I believe that there are many ways to kill her without shedding blood. Did they really tell the students? Did they really tell this guy that, please, so we are begging you, just give us so period of time? You know how our people do react at times when you mount pressure on them. It will be, they think, I don't know their mentality. To some of the lecturers today, I don't know, they will talk to you as if you are nowhere to be found.
Okay, sir, let me say this. You know, sometimes you can't blame the school, because who are we to blame here is the government. Because now we learned about the ASU strike, last ASU strike. It caused a lot in so many schools, and you know it is not only this guy that doesn't see his result yet. There are a lot of students, and they've been apologizing. It was being stated that the school had told them that every one of them that you should just be calm. We are still working on the backlog of results.
What you are trying to say that it was like this guy was out of his senses or out of.
I'm not saying that. I feel
maybe he's having a psychiatric. Maybe he's having psychiatric issue that makes someone to just break a bottle and begin to tear himself.
That is for him. That is his own way of treating
the issue.
The issue. But then this is not the right way to treat it, because
I know, yes.
if he lost his life. All the years he used in the school wasted. But, you know, his parents.
Nigeria is so frustrating. We hardly, out of 100% people that are living in Nigeria, let me say out of 100% population we have in Nigeria, hardly you see 10% that are not frustrated.
That's true.
With the present condition of this country. Do you know how long? Maybe this guy has been looking for a job. What's the next thing? They demand for his result and some other credentials.
Yeah,
maybe he has not been able to provide that truly he went through some social education or social university.
Well, the source who create anonymity has said, I received a call at about 3:30 p.m. on Monday that Ogbeide had been rushed to the hospital. I was told he had been showing signs of depression and that they had tried to help him in every possible way they could. The mother told me that he just stood up all of a sudden with a bottle and smashed it on the floor. They told me it was a slip, but he started to pierce his neck and body with the pieces of the broken bottle. It was the effort of his relative present at the time of the incident that overpowered him before he was rushed to the hospital where he is currently receiving treatment. He said he was tired of everything. He said he had not been able to face his parents and family members after going to school for 5 years without any result to show.
Now tell me this. If his family member or his parent didn't believe that he didn't graduate. These are some of the pressure in and out. The pressure from the parent, then the pressure from the school.
Now I know the reason why.
How did this guy prove himself that he graduated from that school without no result?
But sir, when I was in school, normally, our parents will be looking at bringing home results for the years you've spent in school. But when I was in school, I've been working for myself, even without, without thinking I'll use my results to work out there. So if you have something doing and you are serious with your life, I don't think you should be worried about, even your parents will be proud of you if you have something doing, because there are some courses that people study in school that is not relevant. You see, even if you get your results, there are some courses that if you come outside,
you won't be able to get a job.
Any job. You understand? So sometimes I feel if they should ask this guy now, what's the course you study? Maybe the course is one of these courses that we are talking about.
That we are talking about.
How many aeroplanes do we have in Nigeria?
That doesn't value. That has no value outside there.
How many aeroplanes do we have in Nigeria?
We have one that is being hired.
And you went on to study aircraft engineering. Where do you want to work? Because Nigeria will not hire you, they will hire experts.
They will hire experts to come and repair for them.
You see, there are some courses that it is only when you have the ability to travel out or you want to japa before you could be able to,
maybe the guy was even thinking. Maybe the guy was even thinking of japa. It is not everybody that wants to japa that we tell his or family member that I wanted to japa and process it. Not until when the thing comes to reality. And those places that he was going, maybe they were demanding from for his result. At the end of the day, was unable to get the result. We think as if you don't understand what I'm saying. Maybe one of the wicked ones from the family member was the one that is behind. Or the village people that is behind all this.
But then, I see this whole thing as, I will still blame the guy. To me, I won't blame the school, although the blame is on the school too. But then,
why would somebody graduated from a school at the end of the day for good 1 year, 2 years, nothing to show off, and the school, what are the logistic problems that they have that they are unable to provide?
If this guy was a female, I would have said, okay, girls.
If this guy did not pay for his school fees, will they allow the school authority? Will they allow him to sit down for the exam?
Well, he could not get a job because they kept asking him to provide a certificate. He said anytime he met those who could help him get a job, they would tell him to wait for his results. He was just fed up with the whole thing and became frustrated that his future was on hold.
Do you not see what I'm saying? Do you know you have not even read the story before? I said the guy might have been lobbying for a job at the end of the day, nothing to show off. That was what made this guy
I want to ask a question. I don't know, my viewers, please, I need you to answer this question in the comment section. Why will you go on an interview in a company without having a certificate to show off? See, he's the one bringing problem to himself.
So are you saying in the process of waiting for the result, are you saying you should not look for a job?
You should look for a job. There are a lot of jobs there that you can use your SSCE to do. There are a lot, yes.
Somebody who graduated, are you saying the guy who graduated from the university will now takes his SSCE exhort to go and start work? And you know Nigerians.
Sir, he is not yet a graduate.
You know Nigerians today, whenever you are coming for a job, the first thing they are going to ask you is, what is your qualification?
But that's true.
Isn't it?
You know you don't have qualification. Then why are you going for a job? That is what I'm saying. That is the cause of this problem. He's not the only one in this shoe of not having his result yet. We have lots of them. He's not the only one that his result is being withheld. This is what I'm telling that I'm trying to tell our viewers now, that you should drop a comment, please.
There is an adage that says you make it when the sun is shining.
Yes.
When the sun is shining, maybe you see getting a job in Nigeria, it's by chance and it's by luck.
Simple.
You understand what I'm saying? Maybe probably this is the right time for this man's luck to shine. That's why he's looking for a job, and they are demanding for a certificate and nothing to show off.
Well, I feel.
Do you know how many people out there that have been seeking for jobs? They have their certificate too. Nobody is even attending to them, not to talk of bringing your result for them to see.
Then what I see about this case is that, you know, I'm not a police officer, I'm not an investigator, I'm not doing any investigation on this case. But then I'm saying this as this guy is just using this as a way to get a job.
To get a job and
yes,
to make
because
them.
now after the end of everything, now your result came out and you came out with 3rd class. Or you came out with a result that is not even worth it.
Yeah, but they will still get a job that is suitable for the certificate.
So it does not. What if he's dead? What if he's dead? That is what I'm saying. That is not that committing suicide is not.
I know
committing
committing
not the best
suicide.
option.
What I'm saying, don't misquote me. I didn't say death is the option, but what I was trying to say is that for the present condition of this country,
yeah,
people are tired and fed up. We are all tired. You see all these promises that all these politicians have been making to us. When they got there, it was after when Babalokan was now the president of Nigeria, and then I began to realize that the politicians are full of liars. Lies. They are full of lies. They are all liars.
Well, let's move on to the next one. Still on the headlines. The second one we are going to look at today is about a woman who kills 65-year-old husband with pestle in Oyo State, Ondo State, rather. I don't know what we are going in this country.
What could have happened? Let's go to the
body of the news.
The body of the news.
A mother of 3, Tayelolu Solomon, has allegedly killed her 65-year-old husband, Felix Solomon, with a pestle in Ondo town, headquarters of the Ondo West Local Council of Ondo State. The incident, which occurred on the couple's residence located in the government reserved area GRA of the town, has thrown the community into a state of mourning. The Guardian gathered that the couple had a prolonged domestic dispute with the suspect at different times, threatening to take her husband's life and flee. So that means before the incident.
Say that happened, there are some misunderstanding between both of them, that even the whole community know. Some of the people that are living closer to them knows that this thing has been going on. Well, I may say the man is ignorant. And he will die and will still go to fire. With what I'm saying, because if your life is under a threat from the woman you got married, you should have filed a divorce for the woman. And now your life has finally come to an end. What will happen?
Talking about divorce, there are a lot of things to be considered of before filing a divorce with someone that you got married to.
Now
maybe the woman is the breadwinner of the family.
Breadwinner of the family that makes the man to stick to the marriage.
Because
now his life has finally come to an end. Who will still continue? Who will still continue?
Well,
the woman or the man? Who will continue living? The woman or the man?
I
mean, the man has been filing his divorce. He would have made his own way out of the marriage than making his way to the grave.
The deceased son, Ibukun Solomon, who was present during the incident, said, "My mother killed my father with a pestle and took to her heels. She used the pestle to hit his head when he was asleep." Wow. It's not like they're even in a misunderstanding, like they're having
they might have an misunderstanding that makes the woman to keep quiet. Don't worry, I'm going to deal with you.
I will kill you
when the time comes.
Well, earlier on the fateful day, a minor argument ensued and resulted in a fight between them. After the fight, my father went to rest on the chair, and my mother hit his head with a pestle.
There might have been some disagreement between both of them that makes the woman to keep mute and keep silent, because the woman knows what she's going to do. Women are the devil. She knows where she is going.
Well, he became unconscious in the process and fell down from where he was sleeping. My mother used the pestle to hit my father's head 3 times. When my mother saw that my father was already unconscious, she hid the pestle at the back of her house and ran away. I alerted some of the residents who rushed my father to the hospital, but he later died. His remains have been deposited at the morgue. My mother had 3 children from my father, and I'm the last child. It was gathered that the deceased was in a coma when members of the community arrived at the scene, after which they called the police for help. A member of the deceased family said they were making efforts to settle the incessant fight between the couple before the tragedy. He said the woman had been threatening to kill her husband whenever they were fighting, and the deceased informed us about the threat. but we never knew she would carry out the act. This time, she took laws into her own hands and killed her brother for nothing. She must be arrested and prosecuted accordingly. Meanwhile, the police in the state said an investigation has begun, adding that the suspect will be apprehended soon.
I hope the police will apprehend the suspect, and the woman will not go scot-free. But what pitied me most was the life of the children, because the man is dead now. The wife, when the wife is being apprehended, it will not be released.
Even with that, you know, I see
and
this
whole
thing. There's something we need to sensitize people about, because family is something that I don't know how to put it. Like,
it's a very strong bond and it's a very strong cord.
Just imagine the kind of experience the boy has had during his
when he was there,
seeing his own mother
killing his father. What would be inserted into that boy's memory? But I don't blame anybody than the man. I blame the man, even if the wife is the breadwinner of the family. Since the woman has been uttering a statement out that she would be the one to kill you one day, you would have know that.
The reason why.
That there is fire on the mountain.
It is good for parents of nowadays, you know, this generation, to keep doing DNAs, because we never can tell. Maybe the man later the father of the kids. Maybe the one that is the father of the kids.
That may conspire the woman to say, one day I'm going to kill you, because I see no reason, if the woman is not insane or she doesn't need any psychiatric attention. Somebody that you give children to, that you give birth, not 1, 2, 3 children, that you give to, the man you give to, how would you go to so low? What could have conspired inside your heart that will make you to bring a person to kill your husband?
I'm telling you, that is
even though you are the breadwinner of the family, you should have filed a divorce and let the man go on his way.
That's a devilish act, because I feel for the man, to be sincere. Even the children, because where did they want to start from?
It's marriage by force. Marriage is not by force. With all the experiences that we are seeing today, do you know? I saw a couple that divorced for good 18 years. For good 18 years. Then there was an argument between both of them. Every blessed day they do quarrel. People will come and gather to settle dispute between both of them. At the end of the day, they divorced for good 18 years. After 18 years, they came back together.
Wow.
I think when they were still in the marriage, one would have died then.
That's true.
One would still live. But then they have to divorce themselves. Today, they are back together as husband and wife.
And they are living
happily. Well, their first daughter is.
Please, if you are in any relationship or any toxic marriage, or any toxic relationship or toxic marriage, please find your way out quick before you lose your life, because it is not advisable to be in any toxic marriage or relationship. And these are the things our government are supposed to be putting eye on, because I don't know the reason. Now you have kids. Husband is dead, the wife has fled. Now, who is going to take care of the kids?
The children, who is going to take care of the parents?
Innocent kids.
If the woman is being apprehended, I surely know that the woman is going to jail. Except if the woman has a lawyer that says the woman has a psychiatric care.
That's true.
Automatically, the woman will still land at the psychiatric hospital.
But that boy will never forgive his mother.
The boy will never forgive.
Well, let's go to our next one, which will be the last headline we are going to be looking at today, which is the real talk of today. Apologize for ridiculing monarchs. Afenifere tells Obasanjo.
You see, this is medicine after death. You know, I do tell people, nobody's higher than the Constitution.
Okay.
Nobody. Though the Constitution of Nigerian have been so dragged to the mud that even those that are behind the Constitution don't respect the rule of law.
Yes, exactly.
Why would a court order not to impeach? And people will still gather that they will not abide to the rules of the court. They will still go ahead of impeaching. Automatically, some set of people are above the law. That's what they are proving to us. Because the Constitution of the Nigerian doesn't affect the rich. It only affects the poor, the masses.
Yes, it's only the poor that suffers.
Because according to the Constitution, the governor of a state is greater than the king of that state. Because
he's not even king of the state.
He's greater than he's the number one citizen of that state, and it deserves his own respect. What I see about those kings, I believe Governor Seyi Makinde, I think that's the issue. Governor Seyi Makinde would have been going to the palace. I think he has been rude to those kings. They would have there must be some of the kings that would have come out on board and say this governor is so rude. They would have dragged the issue, because I believe whenever it gets to their palace, there will be a sign of respect.
So good. I've not heard any bad news about
Seyi Makinde. Yes. So once the governor is coming, and those kings, even if not for the governor, for the ex-president, that is there, he's an ex-president, and when he was the president of Nigeria, nobody dares him.
That's true, because
nobody dares him. He was there.
Once a military president.
He was once a military president, and once upon a soldier is always a soldier.
That's true.
So since the man is there, Obasanjo is not even fighting for himself. He's fighting on behalf of the governor, that you have shown some sign of respect by standing ovation for the governor that did that kind of job for your own community.
Well, the Pan-Yoruba Socio-Political Organization, Afenifere, has taken a swipe at former President Olusegun Obasanjo for allegedly undermining traditional institutions in Yoruba land, while frowning at what they perceived as a disrespectful attitude towards monarchs by the former president at an event in Oyo State. The mainstream Yoruba group demanded an apology from Obasanjo, asking him to recognize and rectify the disrespectful manner he treated the royal fathers. Obasanjo, in a viral video recently, was seen commanding traditional rulers in Oyo State to stand up and greet the state governor Seyi Makinde at a function in his saying Oyo State.
You remember, I do tell people that those monarchs, they are even sold their right off. You know, a situation in which maybe we are here together where a three monarch was arrested for selling palliative that is meant for the citizen. You don't have the money to feed the citizen. Federal government still give you, your state government give you some palliatives to share to the poor. I believe you might have known some certain set of people that are poor in the community. So for you to share, you did not share.
It is even his duty as a king to know people that really needs.
That really needs you, for you to do that. You didn't do that. You carry the palliative to the market. So that king, that monarch, that police arrest, won't he be interrogated in the station? Will you now say how come the police arrest a monarch? Because they have sold their right.
That's true. Well, still on it, in a communique issued after a meeting held at the Akure residence of the national leader of the organization, Ruben Fashoranti, the group emphasized the immense respect that the Yoruba people owed for their traditional institutions, with traditional rulers being seen as the cornerstone of the institutions. The communique, which was signed by the group's national publicity secretary, Jare Ajayi, emphasized that such actions undermine the essence of the traditional institutions that have long been cherished by the Yoruba people, adding that a public apology necessary to restore the honor and dignity of the traditional ruler who were subjected to such treatment. Afenifere also stated that Yoruba should be made compulsory for pupils and students as a way of preserving the cultural heritage of the Yoruba people. Let us talk about this. Let us talk about the Yoruba language. You know, we are still on Obasanjo's issue.
Another one is coming out on Yoruba language or not Yoruba language.
Yes, Afenifere.
Most of the monarchs, let me ask them if they could speak the truth, nothing but the truth. Most of the monarchs' children are not in Nigeria. They send their children abroad to go and study abroad. When their children come, they speak good English, but they are unable to speak Yoruba. Are they the one that is not mandating people to about Yoruba?
So I need to say this. If I'm not being mistaken, because we don't value our culture. The reason why I said this is, if you see Oni of Ife, the number one king in Yoruba land, on any interview, he speaks English, which is not a good thing.
Which is not supposed to be so.
Even if you want people to understand what you're saying,
what you are saying,
you are supposed to have a translator.
An interpreter that is going to interpret for you, because that's your culture.
That translate what you are saying in English, because you are the father of the nation. You are the king of Yoruba land. You are not supposed to speak any English language at any cost. Because now, if you interview any Oba, any Emir in the northern part,
they will
never speak English.
They will never speak English. They speak their language. Why they will interpret it? But here in our land,
I don't know the problem we have in Yoruba
English, so people can know that this monarch is well landed. He's a landed somebody.
I don't know the reason why we don't see our culture as something that is valuable.
So is this set of people that is going to enforce us that we should mandate our children to be speaking Yoruba?
This is Yoruba land. When I was in school, when I was in secondary school, primary school, Yoruba was a core subject, a mandatory subject for every student. Now in secondary schools, Yoruba is now something that
I watched a video recently. The lady was in America. She gave birth to her children in America, but she's from Ekiti. That's why the fact that she gave birth to her children in America. I think the oldest one was about 8 years old, the lady that I saw on the video. So the grandma from the village made a video call to them.
Okay.
Now the woman was telling her daughter to, oh yeah, go and greet your mama. The lady your grandma in Ekiti dialect. The lady was not saying, the young girl was not saying, go and greet my mama, but you are my mama. In dialect also. Okay. She now asked, okay, who is that? I say, my grandma in Ekiti dialect.
Wow.
My grandma was speaking Ekiti, and the lady was responding also. Somebody that was born in America.
Imagine.
Not to talk of some of our children in the village now that is being born in Lagos. When they take them to the village, they don't know what they are saying. They'll just be looking at those people in the village and say, what is going on?
I'm not even talking about dialect here. I'm talking about the real.
No, I just want you to know.
Yes,
I'm backing your words that if somebody in America could go to the extent of teaching our children our own dialect. And what we Nigerians that are still Nigerians, you see some of our children speaking Yoruba in the house now. You say, don't speak vernacular.
Even if you see people speaking Yoruba, they see the person like you're not.
You say, don't speak vernacular,
yes,
speak
like
English.
you are not learned. The group said, in order to ensure the survival of Yoruba as the most important element of Yoruba culture, Yoruba will be the medium of instruction from primary 1 to primary 3. Can you imagine? Just from primary 1 to primary 3. What are they thinking about? Like, I don't even understand. All these are our Yoruba Afenifere. I don't think they know what they are saying. Because now, you said you want to create Yoruba nation. Now, after, if let's say there is Yoruba nation today, what will be our official language? Is it not Yoruba?
It's Yoruba. It's going to be Yoruba.
So before the Yoruba nation comes, even if they want to build it up, at least we should learn how to promote our culture, our language. Language is one of the tools that promotes culture. So I don't know if British do not come to Nigeria to promote their land all the way from Europe.
I wonder why I see some of the white people, the Brazilians, promoting our culture for us.
Yes, Cuba.
The Brazilians.
So we have countries like Cuba, Brazil, Mexico.
The Brazilian consulting Ifa in Yoruba language. While our children are here in Nigeria could not even speak a Yoruba. That don't understand a karosa, they will look at you as if you were speaking Spanish.
You see, I don't want to say we made a mistake by accepting the fact that we are independent as a country. Because what if we are just one in Nigeria, like we don't have different languages?
Different language.
Like, is it the way it's going to look like? Because if you go to China, they speak one language.
They speak one language, they speak their language. Even when China's come here, it is we that teaches them
even
English.
UK that brought their language for us as one of the two of the colonizing stuff. They speak one language in Europe.
This president
England.
President of Russia, Putin, whenever he's addressing, he speaks his own language. They will not interpret it.
You will see our president, Federal Republic of Nigeria, because English language is an official language, fine. But why don't we try and take care of our culture? We have Igbo, we have Hausa, we have Yoruba, we have TV, we have different cultures in Nigeria, different ethnic groups. But to promote that language is very difficult. Even some people, they understand the language, they will not be able to speak it because they feel people will laugh them when they talk, which is not supposed to be like that. So I feel Afenifere, they have a lot to do when it comes to.
Do you know one thing that bothers me? It even goes to the extent in which you see a Yoruba man going to the food restaurants, ordering for amala or ordering for eba. As they were bringing the food, they will say, "Please come along with fork."
Fork, yes. Imagine.
A Yoruba man, a Yoruba woman.
God has already given us fork. Look at the fork.
That you are supposed to dip your hand inside the food and eat. You start using fork to be eating ever.
Well, Thereafter, it should become a compulsory subject for every pupil in primary school and for every student in secondary school. It must be offered as one of the compulsory subjects in the school certificate examination. Now they know. The organization also lamented insecurity and banditry in the country and called on the federal government to take some decisive steps. While the communique also reads on insecurity and banditry, the meeting called on the federal government and security agencies to be more decisive and more proactive. 4 approaches are hereby recommended for immediate consideration and action. Immediate development of anti-terrorism devices and proper motivation of security personnel. Immediate engagement of local leaders in areas where insecurity is rife. Then reports have been that leaders in those areas are somehow complicit in how bandits succeeded in their nefarious activities. Now, talking about the bandits, at least we have Amotekun. Government have tried on that aspect. They gave us Amotekun in Southwest.
Do they really empower them to carry out their activities?
Did they ask for more empowerment? That is it.
One thing about our government is that when they give you goats, they doesn't leave the rope. You understand what I'm saying? Were they given the power to act as the way police is acting? Because at the end of the day, a bandit that came that killed almost 5 people in the community or 20 people in the community, when the bandit is being apprehended by this Amatekun, they will still tell them to hand over to the police.
That's true.
From the police station, they will hand them to the court. From the court, they will be bailed out. They will free them. Do they really give them the power to operate to that extent?
Well, only God knows where we are going in Nigeria, because every day we do have different views on what is going on in this country. Well, in the comment section, Ola Onipekun said, "Where are you, Afenifere, when the construction said governor is the first citizen of his state? Obasanjo may sound rude, but it's a fact as far as Nigeria is concerned. Instead of doing something to the constitution, you are dragging facts."
You see the guys.
This is exactly what you were saying.
See, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, Banjo Princess says, "Well done, sir. Thank you." And he said, "When you speak Yoruba too much, people tend to look at you like you don't know what's next in life."
That's the truth. That's the truth. When you speak Yoruba too much, they will think you are not like this guy is illiterate to see the way he's speaking Yoruba. He can't even speak English.
Wow. Now, most especially when you
English is not my language. I was not born in French. I was born in Yoruba land. How come will I speak Yoruba now? You tell me it's because I'm not learning, that is why I'm speaking Yoruba.
You get to a canteen and you be like,
Lama, they say this guy is a local guy. He's a local guy. Who is this guy?
Well, the last comment here, Banjo Princess says, "Everyone is guilty of this language critique. We see ourselves as unserious if we don't speak English well." Yes. Yes, they will say Aja Amubon.
That's what we are saying.
Normally, English language.
As somebody was speaking an English language now, maybe the person made a mistake. Instead of using present tense, they will now use past. You understand what I'm saying? They will say, where did you study?
Which school did you graduate from?
I want to say when the guy went to go and see, or now say when the guy goes to go and see. You understand? What do we need? We need an idea. I believe what the guy was trying to say was well understood by you. There was a Chinese man that I met in a company some years back. The guy said, he was expecting me. He said, I came. I didn't say, he said, me, go, you come. I said, what do you mean? He said, me, go, you come. After when I left the company, you came. Then I said, okay.
And you decoded what he said.
Yes, I understand what he was trying to say.
Official ground. It's an official ground, not like your friend.
Me, go, you come. What if I go to a place now I say?
We have a problem of ourselves. That's why they said Africa. Africa, there are a lot to talk about when it comes to African countries. Well, this is where we are going to be saying bye on the show today. Don't forget that we are still coming back tomorrow, which is going to be the last day of the week for news review. My name is still Ahmed Abbas or Latunji. You can call me Sidon J. That is if you like. Thank you so much for joining us, Elder Orilua.
Ambassador
Orilua Arosimi. So, you know, I love calling you that, Elder, because maybe that's what's in my head. All right, the sponsor for this show is still Nokpa Abba that produces Nokpa Abba Bitter, Abba Flusher, Abba Tonic, Abba Cool, and Abba Powder. Then big shout out to King Victor Nigeria Enterprises that sells all kinds of foodstuffs. They are as well as our sponsors too. Okay, this is where I'm going to be telling you guys be hardworking and get ready for the 3-day. I'm saying 3 days. October 3 indefinite strike. Make sure you buy much food.
Buy Gario. Right. Nobody knows what is going to be the outcome of the strike.
I'm telling you. Take care of yourself. Bye.